Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to a breaking news video from Crime Time with DutyRon. And for those of you who are just joining in, early this morning, news broke with multiple outlets across the United States, but here in the tri-state area, Pocono region of Pennsylvania, a perpetrator has been taken into custody for the murders of the 4 University of Idaho college students. And that happened at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just want to go into it with you guys real quick. Ed Wallace and I are going to be live on at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's 1 p.m. Mountain Time for the press conference that's going to be held. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, the long arm of the law has reached out and grabbed yet another suspect, another bad, evil monster. Taken into custody at 3 a.m. by state, federal, and local partners. Brian Kohlberger, 28 years old. He resides in Pennsylvania. By a quick search that I did for him, somewhere in the Albrightsville, Pennsylvania area. That's in the Pocono regions. He was arrested. He was brought before a judge on these felony charges out of Moscow, Idaho, and will be extradited. The extradition hearing, I believe, happened at 8:30 this morning at the Monroe County judge in Pennsylvania, 8:30 this morning. There's reports that the white Hyundai Elantra that we were hearing the police talk about was confiscated at the location of his apprehension. Again, the arrest is for charges of first-degree murder in the state of Idaho. Moscow Police Department and the district attorney in Latah County drew up the arrest paperwork, and the hearing that he was held on at 8:30 this morning was not at a he wasn't charged formally with criminal charges of first-degree murder. That'll happen when he gets extradited back to Idaho. So what he was brought in on was the felony arrest warrant out of the state of Idaho and taken into custody in another state. It's called a arrest warrant for another authority, FOA. So it's an FOA arrest in the state of Pennsylvania, and then he will be extradited. I'm sure he's going to waive extradition, and he will be brought back to the state of Idaho to face the charges of murder first degree times 4. So that's what we have going on here. Ed Wallace and I will try to bring you, the press conference live, and we'll break it down for you. So hats and all of the kudos, the hats are off to the Moscow, Idaho Police Department. And in my last video I did 2 days ago, I said, and for those of you who are here, and those of you who have been listening to what Ed Wallace and I have been talking about, what did I say when I was talking to you guys 2 days ago? I said we have to get behind the police and support them, because they're doing work behind the scenes that's not known to us. And what do we have here in this Moscow, Idaho case? We have hard work that was being done behind the scenes that we had not been privy to, which led us to the arrest of 28-year-old Brian Kohlberger, a student at Washington State University in Pullman, which is just a short jump, a short ride from the murder scene. Pullman, Washington, we've been hearing about the Washington State University and how close it is. So what we have here is a situation that took 6 weeks to resolve. You know, they have the crime scene cleaners out at the location on King Road doing the cleanup right now. But you know, the Pennsylvania State Police, the FBI SWAT team, and all of the authorities who were working hard behind the scenes. Judy, thank you so much for the super sticker. But kudos to the to the authorities, the local, state, and federal partners who work tirelessly. And I am so confident that the science is going to be what's going to get a conviction, because now we have a perpetrator. We have the white Hyundai Elantra in custody as well, and the police have already put all of their arrest and investigatory information together, and they presented it to a district attorney. Hey guys, if you're not yet subscribed, consider subscribing to Crime Time with DutyRon, where you will get all things true crime related from a police detective's perspective. And I'm using the wireless mic again. I want to just let you guys know I'm using this wireless mic because we had great success with it. Let me know how the sound is on the wireless mic. I know I'm in a room that doesn't have quite a bit of furniture in it, so the echo might be, it might be a little bit, the sound might be a little echoey, but just let me know what you think of the audio on the wireless mic. But again, this is a prime example of what we spoke about 2 days ago. 2 short days ago, I said, hey, we need to support and get behind the local, state, and federal police and the investigators from the feds and the state. We need to get behind them because they're working tirelessly to find the perpetrator or perpetrators. We now know at this time that there's one perpetrator in custody. This is not a person of interest. This is somebody who is now being extradited, is in the process of extradition, right, back to Moscow, Idaho, to stand charges for 4 murders. So it's a great thing. It's a great day. It's great for justice. It's a great day for the long arm of the law who has prevailed. The good guys have now brought an evil monster to justice. And this is just the beginning. This is the beginning of the wheels of justice. We have the Amy King. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining this. This is just the beginning, okay? Corinne, thank you so much, Broderick, for the super sticker, and a couple that went by quick. Thank you so much for the super stickers and the super chats. And for those of you who leave super thanks after the video's over, thank you for that as well. I just want to say a special thank you to the Patreon supporters, channel members, and the moderators and the replay viewers. You guys are great, and I appreciate that as well. But this process is in the it's in the infancy stages, right? We don't even have him brought in. He hasn't even been arraigned on his charges. What he has been brought before a judge for is federal is for the felony arrest warrants that are active and that have been active pertaining to him. And he has the choice of either waiving his extradition, and that's like saying, okay, take me back to Idaho and I'll face the charges, or he can fight extradition like we saw with the Cassie Carley case. We saw the perpetrator in the Cassie Carley case, he refused to waive extradition, but he eventually did waive it because it's just a waste of time. So he's going to waive his extradition more than likely, and he will be transported back to Idaho, and he will stand charged for the charges. He'll be stand before a judge in Latah County for the murders of our 4 college students over in Idaho. And this is a good thing. The long arm of the law has reached out and has brought a suspect in. Thank you for the super stickers. Thank you for the super chats and everything. This is a great way to end 2022. This is a horrible, vicious murder of 4 young college students. But now we do not have an evil monster walking around. We do not now have an evil, sick, murderous monster walking around. Brought into custody today at 3 a.m. in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, in the Pocono District. The perpetrator, again, Brian Kohlberger, 28 years old. And I have a picture of him as the thumbnail on this video, taken into custody. And for those of you who have questions, hold your questions for when we have our live stream at 4 p.m. Eastern. Ed Wallace and I will be live to break down everything that's going on. But in a nutshell, the extradition, the waiving of the extradition, I've been to Monroe County myself as a New York City police detective, and I've extradited perpetrators from Pennsylvania to New York. I'm familiar with the Monroe County court system. I've been there, I've done that, and they are in that process. They're going to expedite his extradition as quickly and as efficiently and safely as possible back to Moscow, Idaho. And the onus, just so you know, Cheryl, thank you so much for being a channel member. Just so you know, the extradition, the onus is on the arrest warrant authority. So Moscow, Idaho, the police department there, they have to make arrangements to pick up this perpetrator, to pick up Brian Kohlberger. Pennsylvania authorities will not be extraditing or doing the transportation. It's going to be done. Rose, thank you for becoming a channel member, and thank you for the Carolyn Shepard for the super chat. She says, bless you and Ed, DutyRon, this is good. Let me say thank you to Kitty, Kit Litter. Thank you for the super sticker. The chat's moving real fast. Brent Montgomery, thank you so much for the super chat. So the extradition is, the onus is on the Idaho authorities. They are going to be responsible for going to Pennsylvania to pick up this perpetrator. I don't know if they'll fly him back or they'll drive him back. It's up to the authority who is in charge of the bringing this guy to justice. And bringing this evil monster to justice is what's at the forefront here. That's paramount, right? So now we need to have an indictment. You need a true bill indictment before a grand jury. We need to now, when that true bill indictment comes down, all right, let me just explain the process quick. He'll be brought to Idaho in Moscow, and he will be brought before the Latah County District Court, and he will be arraigned on the charges. He'll be read, the charges formally at his arraignment. And then after arraignment will come an indictment, a grand jury, which we'll get an indictment on, and then he will move forward based on a plea of guilty or not guilty to a trial or no trial if he pleads guilty. So that's what we're looking at here, and I want to tell each and every one of you that these steps in the wheels of justice are so important, and it's important that we have efficient crime scene evidence and collection, and we say and we hope and we pray that the crime scene and the evidence collection was done properly. Our criminal defense attorney is going to go hard at work for this perpetrator. A criminal defense attorney is going to be hard at work to defend the rights of this monster, because that's the right that we are all afforded under the Constitution of the United States. So a defense attorney is going to be taxed with having to represent Brian Kohlberger, 28 years old, a former Washington State University, Pullman, Washington, a criminology graduate. So he's going to have representation, and they're going to look to try to pick apart as much as possible. So the press conference is 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So let's not get it confused. It's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So as far as I have right here is one arrest has been confirmed at this time. One arrest is confirmed at this time, and it is one Brian Kohlberger, 28 years old, of Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. And that's what we have up until this point. Once the press conference comes out, we will get a little bit more information, but I would have to tell you this, and I'm saying this because I want to be truthful with you guys. You're not going to get a lot of investigatory information. Lieutenant Pete Pranzo, thank you for joining. Hi, Miss Amanda. Hello, everybody. Olivia, Suzanne, Teresa. Thank you, Dawn Marie, for being here. as far as the cleanup crew, the biohazard cleanup folks, I know that they're out at the location early this morning. That's a part of the process. Ed and I will talk to you briefly about that probably sometime this weekend, and we'll give you an overview of how that goes. But essentially, we spoke about that process. The crime scene has been released, and the real estate management company has hired a biohazard company to come in and clean up. And as we speak right now, they're in that process of taking away and cleaning up all of the basically all of the blood and stuff that was left behind. 6 weeks. It's quite a taxing job. It's not an easy job, and they got to do that, and it's got to be done. Christine, good to see you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you for rejoining the memberships. For those of you who had their free membership expire, appreciate everybody for being members here on Crime Time with DutyRon. And again, at the end of this, leave me a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are about 6 weeks it took for law enforcement to take this perpetrator in custody. These things have to be done the right way, because there's only one chance to get an arrest and to get an indictment and to get this guy or girl, now we know it's a guy, to get the perpetrator brought into custody and a successful prosecution. You only get one chance at it. There's no do-overs. So it's so important that we understand that these things take time, and they take time because they want to have a very solid, tight case. So this way, we don't just get a summary arrest. We don't just get this bad guy in custody. We get him successfully prosecuted. That's the most important part, because why race to get someone into custody when they can just be let off on a technicality or let off on bad evidence or rushing to judgment too quickly. So it's important that this stuff takes time. But when you say that to a family member who has lost their children, who have lost their loved ones, it doesn't sit well. It doesn't sit well with family, and it doesn't sit well with people who are invested in it. But we have to realize that at the end of the day, the police and the investigators are tasked with getting the person and making sure that they're successfully prosecuted. Let me look at the chat real quick and say hello to everybody that's joining. And if you have any questions, leave the question down below in the comments section, and I'll be sure to answer the questions down in the comments. But today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Ed Wallace and I will be live to bring you the press conference from the Moscow, Idaho police chief. And whatever they have to say, we'll give you our thoughts after the press conference. We'll let you guys listen to the press conference with us, and we'll let you know what our thoughts are. But this is preliminarily what we have. At 0300 hours, 3 a.m. in Scranton, Pennsylvania, a 28-year-old was taken into custody. They knew who they were looking for. There was an arrest warrant ×4 for the arrest of this suspect. They went out to a location in Monroe County and in the Poconos. It's in the Pocono regions. Brian Kohlberger, 28, was taken into custody. An Albrightsville, Pennsylvania resident. He was a former Washington State University, Pullman, Washington, a criminology graduate. He was taken into custody at 3 a.m. The white Hyundai Elantra, I believe, was also taken into custody at that same location. And more information will be coming out in the hours that lead up to this press conference. So until they give us stuff officially at the press conference, I would say this, that you're going to hear lots of other additional unverified and unvetted information. Just keep that close to your chest and absorb it. But I will tell you that Ed Wallace and I will say this till the sun comes down. Wait until the press conference to get your bona fide, verifiable information from the police chief, and you will probably hear from federal partners, state partners, and the local partners from the law enforcement. So again, A perpetrator is in custody in the murders of the the Moscow murders 6 weeks ago. We now have justice for these victims and their families, and that is a good thing. Any day that we have justice for the families is a good day. So I want to say thank you to everybody who has reached out to me through Crime Time with DutyRon's website on DutyRon.com. I want to thank everyone who sent me messages alerting me to this, but I actually had this early this morning. I was just trying to hold on to it to get as much vetted information as I could before I brought you anything. I wanted to make sure that I brought you, clear, bona fide, verifiable information, and that's all I was trying to do here, and that's why I held out and waited just a little bit. But I will bring you the presser, and I will do what I can to, to bring this stuff live to you at 4 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys and girls, thank you so much for joining. Again, this is a good day. Justice is in the process of being served for these young victims, these 4 young victims. So I want to just, again, let you guys know that at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be going live with all of you to give you whatever information comes up. Whatever information is coming up and whatever information that they are going to put out. So, much love and respect from Crime Time with DutyRon and Ed Wallace. We'll see you at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to schedule a live stream right after this. If you want, go over to that live stream and give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below in the comment section. Make sure you like and subscribe. We are 2 retired New York City police detectives with 20 years of law enforcement experience. So if you like that, definitely hit that little red subscribe button, and I will see you on the next live stream. Peace and love from Crime Time with DutyRon. Thank you, guys.